What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Force Feed, the show where I keep you up to date on all the most recent gaming news and announcements. It is Monday, January 16th, and today we will be discussing the iPad 3 rumored to be launched this March, PSN's 12 for 12 sale, SOPA gets shelved for the time being, Ruin gets a rename, the future of THQ, and then lastly, Mass Effect 3 will not be launching on Steam. Let's jump into the news. A report from Bloomberg states that the iPad 3 will be going on sale this upcoming March. Now, improvements to the iPad 3 are going to be including an HD screen, better processor, and improved wireless capabilities. The reason I am bringing this up, of course, is that the iPad 3 is going to be used as a gaming platform, and for you portable gamers, would you consider getting the upcoming iPad 3, especially given it is going to include an HD screen, better processor, and improved wireless? Would you consider getting that over the PlayStation Vita or the up-and-coming Razer's Project Fiona? Let me know below. PSN's 12 for 12 sale starts tomorrow and will be lasting until January 23rd. Now with the sale, you will have access to 12 downloadable titles for 30% off, and if you are a member of PlayStation Plus, you can get them for 50% off. The titles are going to include Pixel Junk Side Scroller, Payday the Heist, Dungeon Defenders, Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Online Edition, Euphoria, Blood Rain Betrayal, Rocket Birds, Hard-Boiled Chicken, Cubics HD, Sideway New York, Rochard, and Okaboo. So those are the titles you're going to have access to. I don't think I said Okaboo right. Again, it is going to be 12 titles for 30% off unless you are a member of PlayStation Plus, in which case you get it for 50% off. Victory for the internet as SOPA is being shelved for the time being. It does appear like SOPA will not be brought up for vote in the House until a consensus is reached on the bill. In an article to TheHill.com, House Oversight Chairman Darrell Issa did report that Major Leader Eric Cantor promised him that the House would not vote on the controversial SOPA Act until a consensus was reached on the bill. He stated that while I remain concerned about Senate action on the Protect IP Act, I am confident that the flawed legislation will not be taken up by the House. This is, of course, very exciting news, as it does appear, at least for now, that SOPA will not be voted on in the House. It does look like the outcry from the gaming community, as well as publishers, has in fact paid off. It is time to celebrate, bust out the Mountain Dew and Doritos. I'm just kidding, don't eat that crap. The future of THQ did come into question this weekend as rumors were flying about that they had canceled the entirety of their 2014 lineup. Of course, this would be due to their recent poor performance. However, they did come out and state that the rumors were in fact false, and they are working to focus on high-quality core games as well as build up a digital platform and business. Now, they went on to say that they have been happy with their recent performance, specifically looking at Saints Row the Third, and that they are looking forward to their up-and-coming titles UFC Undisputed 3 and Darksiders 2. So although it is pretty unquestionable that they haven't been doing the greatest as of late, they say they are happy with their current state and they are looking forward to the future. So do not fret, fans of THQ. It looks like they will still be hanging around at least for another couple of years. The game formerly known as Ruin, Sony's up-and-coming hack-and-slash action RPG, which allows you to bounce between playing it on the Vita and the PS3, has gotten a rename. It is now going to be called Warrior's Lair. Now, the rename does come without explanation, but it does look like they were not happy with the name Ruin and decided to go with Warrior's Lair. I can't say that one name is better than the other. Both of them are just kind of meh. So if you're excited about the upcoming game Ruin, I just wanted to let you know that it now has a new name, Warrior's Lair. How cool. According to a recent FAQ on the BioWare forums, it looks like Mass Effect 3 will not be available on Steam and will require an Origin account for PC users to be able to launch the game. Now, if you do not know, Origin is actually meant as a competing service for Steam, so it really isn't the biggest surprise that Mass Effect 3 will not be coming to the platform. And you, of course, need to look no further than the recent Battlefield 3 to see that this is going to be something that we can expect to continue to happen in the future for all EA games. That's going to be my assumption, at least. I don't see why they wouldn't want to actually produce it on their platform and not put it on a competing platform. That's kind of basic business sense right there. But yes, it is going to require an Origin account to be able to launch the game on your PC. So if you do not want an Origin account, it looks like you're going to have to get Mass Effect 3 on the console. And then lastly, I will of course be wrapping up today with a question of the day. Now again, if you would like your question answered on the Force Feed, send it to theforcefeed@forcestrategygaming.com. Today's question comes in from Arthur. He says, Dear Force, I've heard you use the word professional about what you do with the whole Force Strategy gaming setup, and you seem to spend quite some time producing content, which, mind you, me and a lot of others are happy to watch. From this, I can only assume that you earn some amount of money doing what you do. However, I have seen very little in the way of ads. Honestly, the most direct example I could find was the Powered by WordPress at the bottom of forcestrategygaming.com. Sure, you are promoting a host of games, but at least outward, it seems like you choose which ones to promote on your own, without much direct influence from outside. This leads up to my big question: where does the money you earn on all of this come from? Who pays for there to be a person like you giving us free quality content? Well, this is actually quite a long and drawn-out question, but I wanted to bring it up, although it wasn't specifically video game related, because I do get this question quite a bit. People ask about the whole process and what I do. Now, first off, the website currently, forcestrategygaming.com, that is just a placeholder. I do have an official relaunch of my website that will be taking place in the near future, and that will, of course, have ads. Now, the ads for the content that I produce, as I agree with you, there aren't a lot of them, and they're specifically going to be mostly seen as pre-roll, basically an ad runs before the video, or inlaid on the bottom of the video. Those are the ads that you actually see from YouTube. Now, what I have is what's known as a YouTube partnership, which allows me to monetize on the content I produce, and this is, of course, a great thing because it is only because of that I am able to do this full time. If it weren't for being a YouTube partner, then I would, of course, need another full-time job because I, like everyone else in the world, have bills. I've got to pay rent, I've got to pay car loans and all sorts of things. Of course, I need to eat and do all sorts of other things that do cost money. So I'm obviously grateful to the fact that I have a YouTube partnership, and the next question is going to be, well, how did this all happen? I started producing content a little over a year ago. People liked it, watched it, and as a result, it got somewhat popular. I'm certainly not one of the biggest channels on YouTube, but I did start to acquire a following. This garners attention from YouTube and specifically companies like Machinima or the Game Station that will roll up partners and content producers such as myself into their network that allows us to monetize. So that's kind of the basic layout of the whole content. I get paid for the ads on my videos, and while I do get complaints about ads every once in a while, I have to say I agree with you, Arthur. It isn't a lot, and complaints about it are kind of ridiculous. I mean, a lot of my content is between 20 and 30 minutes, be it StarCraft 2 commentaries, podcast, or anything else, my Let's Play series. All that stuff is relatively long. And to have to put up with about a 1-minute commercial beforehand, I don't think is a lot. But it is a pretty sweet setup, and if you have more questions, you should go ahead and look up a YouTube partnership if it's something that you would like to do as a career. It is certainly a possibility. Again, I've been doing this for about a year now, and it is my full-time job. I do it every day. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of the Force Feed. As always, I thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. Stay tuned tomorrow for another episode, keeping you up to date on all the most recent gaming news and announcements. And once again, this has been Force, and you have just been force-fed.